Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for meeting with me today for our CBTV interview. Today, we're learning about our new department, the Information Systems Department. Ron, talk to us a little about why this department is critical to our overall strategic focus.
Yeah, thank you, Ani. Well, many of you that attended the strategic plan implementation, as I shared with you a few weeks ago in the town hall meetings, you got to see how important understanding our outcomes is throughout our strategic plan, how we message, what we can message, and the fact that we collect all this data, but we can't bring it together because we have so many disparate systems and different ways of collecting it. And having information systems that puts this together in a coherent way will allow us to really think more clearly, to message more clearly, and to really show people in the community and even our own board that we're really doing what we say we're doing, and we can do it and say it in a really coherent way, as opposed to little bits and pieces here and there and there and there. And so this is the first time in the history of the organization that we've been able to do something like this. And so it is a really critical component of our new strategic plan, and I am absolutely delighted that we've done this.
Thank you so much, Ron. Gail, can you talk to us a little bit about the synergies with Aster and finance and the advantage that IS, the information systems team, will give us in building efficiencies?
Absolutely. So we are blessed and privileged to have Matt, Deneen, and Sandra join our Children's Bureau family because they come with a wealth of information and background on systems in general, but also on mental health, which is one of the more complicated billing systems that we have in the organization. And so not only are they able to tie the disparate systems that Ron talked about together, but they're also giving us an opportunity to see if we are effectively utilizing the software systems we do have. Are there ways to automate? Are there ways to cut down on our administrative time? And so they've already started with great progress in that area on some of our systems, and particularly on the mental health side, it's just tremendous. And of course, the world is changing. The world of mental health is changing with CalAIM and some of the payment reform that's coming down the line. And commercial insurance contracting is here upon us. Everybody, including children's bureaus, dipping our toes in to contract with the Kaisers and the Aetnas and the Optums of the world, and do a commercial insurance billing contract. And so we have to ready our systems for that environment that is going to be where we're at, and we need to move very quickly into it. So there's just a gigantic amount of synergies and talent that's at our fingertips, and we're so excited.
Thank you, Gail. And Karina, can you highlight the importance of program cooperation and alignment towards one goal?
So the importance of us really cooperating with the IS department is that their North Star is really just to help us succeed with what we're doing with the clients that we serve, but also just making our job easier. I mean, how amazing is it to be able to pull all this data and all of these reporting in one click? And I think that is the most important thing for the program piece, because we will be able to show off all the amazing work that we do as service delivery providers, and we'll be able to get rid of those Excel sheets, all those different things, and being able to centralize it is going to be an important thing. So I'm really excited about being able to click and get all those reports and be able to do that analysis and to be able to talk about outcomes in a way that will help us really talk about outcomes instead of just gathering information.
Thank you so much. And so let's hear from the information systems team. Matt, what does the information systems department do, in your words?
Well, I think Gail, Karina, and Ron described it pretty well, actually. So my work will be easy in this interview. But basically what we do is there's sort of three fundamental things. The first thing is reporting. And as they've mentioned, there's data in lots of different systems. I mean, just sort of the nature of the organization is you're going to interface with a bunch of different systems, and getting all that stuff together, making it so that it's easy to view, that it's consistent. It's a pretty big task, but that's kind of first and foremost what we want to do, is make information easy to access. The second is, along the way, we focus on process improvements. Are we capturing the data we need? If we're not, why is that? And is there something we can do with software to make that easier? or to make systems more efficient, just to help the organization run better. The final thing is that we're also sort of focused long-term. Where does the organization need to be down the road to handle legislative changes that are coming? What kind of systems are we going to need 5 years from now to handle the kinds of services we provide? So it's sort of all of that.
Thank you so much, Matt. So why you? What makes you qualified to help us?
Why me? Because I'm lucky, because I get to work with you guys. And I say that genuinely. I've worked with Children's Bureau since 2005, so a very long time. And so part of it is just, why not? It's just been such a great relationship for so many years that this seems like where I ought to be. But specifically, like why I'm qualified to do it, I was the founder and the CEO of Exum. That's the software that your mental health program uses. Ran that company for 15 years. So I'm very familiar, certainly with the mental health side of the organization, as well as foster care. I come from a background that's all been software development and process automation for my whole career since I was a teenager. So hopefully I can bring those skills to bear here.
Thank you. And what about you, Deneen? Why you?
I spent 8 years working in community behavioral health, implementing EHRs in different under LADMH contracts for different organizations. I joined Exum with Matt about 12 years ago, initially as a report builder and a project manager. And then later I oversaw the company's reports, data transfers, the analytics tools that we used. And through improving data accessibility and making data more digestible for our customers, I helped over 120 Exum customers use data so that they could improve services, look at what their outcomes were across different programs, and make their reimbursement for their services more timely. I've also developed reporting processes to improve efficiencies, and I look forward to helping Children's Bureau realize all of their data-driven goals.
Thank you so much, Deneen. And how about you, Sandra? Talk to us about your experience.
Well, when I recently returned to Children's Bureau, and I emphasize returned, I came home. I initially started off with community mental health as a billing clerk, actually, with Children's Bureau many, many years ago, and was one of the 2 people administering the Exum system when we first contracted with Matt. I eventually ended up jumping over to working with Exum, and I was there for almost 16 years. And then I came back here. While I was with Exum, what I did initially was help new systems to streamline their processes and transfer from paper to electronic environments. So along the way, I got fairly skilled at optimizing system processes and training people to make this change, and then suggesting ways that they could basically just streamline things and get the most out of their data, both from a clinical standpoint and from a reporting standpoint.
Thank you, Sandra. Matt, how does this department interact with other departments?
Well, if we do our job right, we interact with the other departments by understanding what's difficult for them in terms of using technology. So what I mean by that is, do your systems make your life easier? Do they make your work more efficient, or do they make it harder? And if they make it harder, then our job is hopefully to fix that. So a lot of it's around that sort of process improvement stuff. The secondary piece of it is measurement. How do you know if you're doing a good job? How do you know what impact you're having? All that's data and information. And so a big part of our job is helping each of the different parts of the organization see what their data is. Not just the sort of service provision, but even things like PSS and marketing. What's the impact those groups are having as well.
Thank you. And why now? Why are we setting up this department today?
There's multiple reasons. As everyone's mentioned, outcomes are a big motivation. Probably our primary reason to be here is to help do a better job of capturing and reporting on outcomes. It's really going to drive everything that you're going to do. And a lot of that stuff is coming down, certainly in the mental health side. The state of California is going to start reimbursing providers based on outcomes rather than just billing for services. So we need to get really good at capturing and reporting outcomes for that reason. But also, again, just what impact are we having? How do we know we're doing good work? I mean, we know we are, but how do we measure it? That's part of what we're going to do.
Very exciting. So I'm sure everyone who's watching is curious to learn more about you as individuals. What are some things you like to do outside of work? Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, for me personally, I like to play tennis. I don't know that I'm very good at it, but I like it because it's challenging physically and mentally. It is the hardest sport mentally that I've ever played because it's just you. And so your mental state has a tremendous impact on how well you do in that game. So that excites me. I read a lot, read all the time whenever I can. So there's just endless books to read. I'll never have time to read them all, but that's how I spend my time.
Thank you, Matt. What about you, Sandra? What are some of your hobbies outside of work?
Well, I share Matt's love of reading. I think if there was an Olympic reading team, I'd be on it. Because it's one of my favorite pastimes. And then I share something with Ron as well. I cook. I like to cook. I like to experiment with things. And once upon a time, I actually won ribbons at the local fair for things that I entered in competition. So I think I'm pretty good at it. That said, I've had my disasters too, but it's a fun thing to experiment with. And then other than that, I have two very spoiled, very high energy dogs that keep me hopping.
Thank you, Sandra. And Deneen, what about you? What are your hobbies? Oh, Deneen, you're on mute.
Sorry. I don't really have hobbies. I have two small children, and so a lot of my spare time is eaten up like doing whatever they want to do. When I do have some time to myself, I do not read. I watch TV. I watch sitcoms, and I love The Real Housewives. I watch all of that disaster unfold every night. The one thing I did do is during quarantine, I decided to buy a Cricut, like a vinyl cutter. And so I spent a lot of time making t-shirts and tote bags and koozies and stickers and sending them to my family and friends. And it was just a way for me to kind of connect. I just sent you a shirt in the mail, let me know when you get it. And it was just a fun thing to do. I haven't done a lot of it lately, but I'll probably pick it back up since it seems like we're might be locking back down again, soon. So.
Thank you all so much for your time today. It's been such a pleasure learning more about information systems and you as individuals. Thank you. Ron, do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you too. And using Deneen's comment about making data digestible. I mean, this department's going to save us a fortune just in Pepto-Bismol alone. So thank you guys for being here, for helping to create some conceptual framework that we can work with and that we can go show the world that we really are as good as we say we are. So thank you so very much. And thank you for paying attention to everyone. This is a great new team and we're really excited to have them here. Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.